On NFL Live out of Miami, and this is from our Adam Schefter. The Dolphins have had trade discussions with the Pittsburgh Steelers about their lone Pro Bowl selection last season, tight end Jonnu Smith. Per league sources, those talks came after Smith expressed an interest in reworking his deal that is scheduled to pay him $4.8 million this season. Now, with Smith seeking a new contract, Miami has sought a trade partner. Last season, Smith set the franchise record for a tight end in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. Smith's preference, per sources, is to stay in Miami under a reworked deal. And that is not all from Miami. Here's the latest tweet from Jalen Ramsey as the team explores options to trade him. For the record, BTW, I've loved every city I've played in and the fans who supported. The anger is very misplaced at times, but sometimes valid too. But real ones know the intention's always solid. And how about the guy that said he wanted out at the end of last season? Wide receiver Tyreek Hill met with the media yesterday as the Dolphins' voluntary OTAs got underway.
Every day you got to prove like who you are. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter, how much you earned or how much success you've had in this league. It's always the next day mentality. That's something that my grandparents raised me by, and that's something that Mike preaches, here in this locker room. So every day I'm trying to prove myself as one of those guys that this team can depend on in crucial moments. So I'm gonna stand on that too, though, because that's just me as a person, as a player, as an individual. So I try to carry myself in that way.
Mike Tannenbaum, boy, fun times being a GM there in Miami. If you could place yourself in that front office, we know Chris Greer does a terrific job, but what would your top priority be?
Yeah, well, first of all, starting with Jalen Ramsey, it's not if, but when. And what's going on there is there's guaranteed money. And as you alluded to in our meeting earlier, there's also the June 1st rule that they have to contemplate. Those are hard dynamics, guys, because not only are you negotiating draft choice compensation, but you're also negotiating who's paying what. That's hard to do. Hey, we want you to take the whole salary. No, Miami. You're going to eat 50%, 60% of it. So it's really hard when you're negotiating a guaranteed salary because they're two simultaneous negotiations. It looks like this is going to happen. It's just a matter of, again, not if, but when. As it relates to Jonnu Smith, look, he had a great year last year, 29 years old, 8 touchdowns, 88 catches. He wants more money, understandably, going to the last year of his deal. When you connect the dots, look, Arthur Smith's the guy that used a lot of tight ends, offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh. So this is obviously an economic play. And lastly, on Tyreek Hill, just show up every day, stack one good day on top of the next, and let's make some progress.
Yeah, you mentioned June 1st. The Fins are going to save almost $10 million against the cap if they trade Ramsey after that date. So we'll wait a few days on that one. Okay. Good job there. Go to the NFC East and, of course, start with the reigning Super Bowl champs. Here's Bill Barnwell back with his superlative for the Eagles.
The Eagles are most likely to inspire jealousy around the NFL. Not just those Super Bowl rings, but as Joe Burrow put it, they're paying everybody. Well, he's about halfway. They are paying pretty much everyone on offense, where they'll earn more than $217 million this year. Makes them the most expensive offense in NFL history. But the defense is 31st in cash spending. We've seen guys like Josh Sweat and C.J. Gardner-Johnson leave this offseason. The Eagles are going to rely on those young defenders who played so well during the Super Bowl run to be the core of that team in 2025.
All right, Sam, most likely to inspire jealousy in other teams. What about those missing pieces on defense? How big a concern is that?
Well, the best part about this young defense is that they have an old defensive coordinator in Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio coached the #1 defense when it comes to points allowed or yards allowed, #2 when it came to points allowed. Even though some of the veterans are gone, the young superstars are the guys who shined in the Super Bowl. Think Cooper DeJean, think Quinyon Mitchell. And oh, by the way, the Eagles dominated again in the draft. Jahad Campbell is going to be a star. And so, yes, some of the players on defense are younger, but they're experienced and they have an older veteran coach to lead them along the way.
Yeah, they allowed the second fewest points per game last season after allowing the third most the year prior. That's what kind of difference Fangio made. Now to Washington, where Bill's superlative for the Commanders is most likely to eat an early dinner and go to sleep at a sensible time. One of my favorites. Several key pieces for the Commanders are over 30. Of course, though, their star is 24 years old. Their quarterback and head coach Dan Quinn spoke about the challenges Jayden Daniels may face in his second season.
there's a lot of playbook that people haven't seen, number one. Featuring some new players and into some different spots. And that's what's kind of fun about now, exploring some new thoughts, some new ideas, and some scheme, while like sharpening on the things that can I go from really good at something to elite.
It's so funny. It could go either way, right? Because we've seen quarterbacks like C.J. Stroud, for a variety of reasons. Some fall off in their second season. What do you expect from Daniels?
Yeah, C.J. Stroud is the comparison here because he plateaued in his second year. He didn't really regress, but it was a problem. There was a confluence of a bad offensive line and lazy play calling. I don't think you're going to get either of those in Washington this year. We know what Jayden Daniels did well in his rookie year. He was able to excel at every area of the field. 52 forced missed tackles as a runner, led all quarterbacks, and didn't really have any turnover-worthy plays to speak of. So for me, when I look at this, I think about Josh Connerly, their first-round pick from Oregon. He is so important. He needs to win the right tackle battle, let the other guys kick inside. That is going to give him a lot of flexibility, and it will be a good offensive line in Washington.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was sacked the sixth most of any quarterback last season. Meanwhile, we go to the Meadowlands, where Bill has the Giants as most likely to throw deep more often. Obviously not a team known for explosive plays. When Daniel Jones was a quarterback, head coach Brian Daboll spoke yesterday on how he's going to share the reps in that new quarterback room.
Yeah, they'll all get reps at various spots. So we got a plan for that. We've been working that since they've been here. But they'll all get reps.
That was really insightful.
Thanks, Brian.
Mike T. We have Russell Wilson. We have Jackson Dart. We have Jameis Winston. How should they navigate this?
Yeah, that's the Brian Daboll, our quarterback coach, who would walk in and be like, that Kevin Clark wrote something negative about it. The smugness we got. Look, if I was them, New York Jets, 2009, we put in Mark Sanchez, never looked back, went to back-to-back championship games. I would do that with Jackson Dart. If I'm the Giants, I'd rather go 6-11 with an ascending Jackson Dart than win 7 games with an aging Russell Wilson. Like, Jackson Dart's your future. Like, just put in him, let him go. You drafted Cam Scatterbo, you got Tyrone Tracy, you got a star in Malik Neighbors. Feed into these young offensive skill players. That's your future.
Dart, start of the season?
Right now.
Right away.
Day one, snap one, rep one. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. I love it. All right, finally, Dallas. Expectations always high there. Bill, the Cowboys superlative, please.
The Dallas Cowboys are most likely to trust their old scouting reports, even when a player has struggled in the NFL. We saw them make a trade last year for Jonathan Mingo, who had struggled with Carolina, thinking they could turn this former second-round pick around. Cowboys made a lot of moves like that this offseason. They trade for Kyer Elam and Kenneth Murray, 2 former first-round picks who have struggled so far on defense. They signed Peyton Turner away from the Saints and a former top 5 pick in Solomon Thomas, and then, of course, the